and now my honors geometry. We got some constructions to do. So here, are the notes if you want to look at the steps ahead of time. Again, I try very succinctly to describe these constructions. So if you look here, let me do the construction of an equilateral triangle. So it's going to be 2 steps. So the first step says mark a point on the circle. Use the compass to set the radius of this. Use the compass set to the radius of the circle and create a total of 6 points or arcs, on the circle. So if we go to Delta Math, and let's look at this construction. So we need to mark a point on the circle. Now you cannot, there's no point tool, and you can't use a segment because it's going to disrupt the final answer. So we're going to use a ray, and I'm just going to go off here and drop a point right there. So that's the point. Now we're going to set our compass to this radius, and I'm going to create a circle here, and I'm going to mark this point and this point. Okay, so see the arcs I created. And now I'm going to slide the center of this circle over here and mark this point, slide it over here, mark that point, slide it down here, mark that point. So what I've done is I've created 6 points. 5 of them are arcs, and the 1 point is the one we created, evenly spaced out amongst this circle. Okay, so that's your first step. Step 2. Now you're going to construct an equilateral triangle by drawing segments between every other point. So let's start with the segment tool with the point we put on there first with the ray. Let's skip this point and go to this point. So that's that one. And then let's draw another segment. Let's skip this point, go to this one. And now let's draw the final segment between those two. And there is going to be your equilateral triangle. Should look congruent sides, and the angles should look 60 degrees. And there's your equilateral triangle. All right, the next construction, very, very similar, is a regular hexagon. Now, a hexagon is 6 sides, whereas the equilateral triangle is just 3. So think about it. In the construction we just did, we created 6 points around the circle. So we're going to do the exact same thing, create those 6 points again, but now to get the regular hexagon, we're actually going to connect all 6 points instead of skipping every other point. So regular hexagon here. Same thing. Let's start with the ray tool. Draw it off to the side to create that point on the circle. Grab the compass, center, measure the radius. Here we go. Arc, arc. Move that center, arc. Move that center, arc. Move that center, arc. And there you go. There's my 5 arcs and the 6th point that I created myself. And now we grab the segment tool and connect every point with a segment, and you're done. Cool. All right, last one we're going to use a square, a little bit different than these two. Okay. So to start the square, we're going to draw a diameter of the circle, and then we're going to construct its perpendicular bisector. So in this problem here, right, they give you the center. So let's grab the ray tool. You can pick any point on, what am I going to do? Let's do the line tool instead. Okay. Okay, and we're going to make sure U is on our line, and then just draw it so it touches the circle. And again, you can make your diameter straight across. I'm not going to, just for all intents and purposes. So there is my diameter. Here are these 2 points. Those 2 points are very, very, very necessary. Okay. So now we need to construct the perpendicular bisector to this this segment or this diameter. So when you do that, you just have to take the compass. You're going to open it up more than halfway between these 2 points. So notice I'll start here. I'll drag it more than halfway. U is halfway, more than halfway. And I'm going to draw a big arc here and a big arc here. You can draw one big arc if you want to. I don't like to. And then I'm going to take this center. I'm going to slide it down to the other point, or the other endpoint of the diameter, and draw an arc here and draw an arc here. And there I go. Okay. Now, notice what it did for you. And I'm going to take the compass away, is it drew where these arcs cross the circle. That's not what I care about. What I care about is where these 2 arcs intersected, because to complete the perpendicular bisector construction, I now need to connect these with a line. Be very careful. There, I did. And now notice it did put those middle points on there. It's the middle points that I want. So again, this was kind of a not so good construction. So I'm actually going to do this. Okay, let me go back to here. Let me make this a little bit longer. This will be better. Just because that would have been very difficult to show. Okay, so now see those arcs don't even cross the circle. I made my initial circle much bigger. Okay, so sorry about having to do this twice. And now I'll connect those there. And now clearly you can see the points, right? Okay, so hopefully that didn't confuse you too much. Sorry about that. Um, and now we're going to connect those 4 points with segments to make the square. So here we go. Segments 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's your square. So again, if you get in that situation where the arcs crisscross really close to the circle, you might want to make your initial measurement a little bit bigger or smaller, depending on what would help. And there we go. All right, cool. All right, so good luck on those constructions. Hopefully on Delta Math, it's a little bit more easy than in Edge Elastic or in Desmos Geometry. All right, good deal.